Good morning. So this morning I'm going to cook my first meal on this Winnerwell Nomad. I test fired it yesterday, got it all set up and just put a lot of heat through it just to see if any of the panels warped. Made sure it sealed properly. Just wanted to check whether we had any major smoke leakages or anything like that, because the last thing you want with a firebox in your tent is any form of smoke leakage. You end up with carbon monoxide poisoning. Even though I can't see it coming out, I'm still going to get a carbon monoxide meter just to put in the tent and set an alarm off if the levels get too high. But I don't expect that'll ever be an issue, because in the sleeping part of the camper there's always a window open, fresh air coming in, things like that, and I don't intend to sleep with the fire running. It's more of a thing for cooking and keeping you warm during the evening or when you get back from a hunt. So anyway, I'm going to cook a feed. I'll show you the water boiler, make a cuppa, and yeah, just get about getting used to it, seeing how quickly things happen, and yeah, should be good. Not bad fire starters. This year's hunting permits to New Zealand that I couldn't use because of COVID. May as well burn them. Righto, here we go. This is a 3-litre water boiler. It's got an insulated tap here. It's got a rubber washer here. Stops the tap getting hot when it's boiling. Holds about 3 litres of water. Fits snugly on the top, like so, like that. Boils that way, but also once it's boiled, you can hook it on the side like that as a warmer. Now, pieces. It's about 2 litres of water in there. Already had some in there. You can see how hot that was already, and it's really only just cranking up. So anyway, we're gonna boil that, see how long it takes. Well guys, that was a pretty hearty breakfast. Don't mind the bacon and eggs, and certainly a good easy meal to test cooking on a campfire. This thing is blazing hot. It's pumping out so much heat. I put two really big logs on here earlier. Don't know if you can see them in there, but it can take some really decent sized bits of timber. Yeah, so I'm pretty impressed with it. Just going to close that up now and see how that burns now with the flue shut. So this heats up in no time, a really short amount of time, and that is just absolutely pumping out the heat. So you'd want to be careful with it, of course, like any fire. The water boiler, honestly, I put 2, maybe a little bit more litres of water in that, and it took, from lighting the fire and putting it on there, probably about 10 minutes to come up to a rolling boil. But the great thing about that is then you just clip it onto the side over here and it just stays nice and warm, and you've pretty much got hot water on tap anytime you want it, which is really good. And making a cup of tea out of something like that has that distinct campfire flavour coming out of a metal container. Something I was really interested in before this showed up, and I couldn't find information on anywhere, was how hot this would be front and rear. So I can put my hand under here. It's hot. I could probably leave it there a few minutes before getting a suntan. The cement underneath, it's hot. It's like a really hot Aussie summer day. Right, you burn your feet type hot. So if you were putting this on a tent with a floor, you'd need to have some sort of insulation. I noticed that Winnerwell provide a heat mat that you can put things on. My camper, yes, it has a floor, but I never use it, so it's going to go straight on the ground, so it's not going to be a problem. Around the back, it emits some heat, but it's not too bad. Most of the heat seems to be projected off the top and sides, so I'm pretty happy with that. Canvas typically is heat proof or heat resistant, so it's not going to bother it. Certainly noticed on the New Zealand trip that we went on that the tent didn't care about that extra heat. But this is piping hot. It's going to be really interesting to see how it heats up inside a camper. And with some of these controls, how I'm able to temper the heat. But yeah, really happy with it. Successful little trial. It's not leaking smoke. The draft pushes it where it needs to go. It's excellent. So anyway, cheers to that. I'll show you the next video shortly using the oven, and then another one setting it up inside the tent with the jack. Cheers.